What's up, Crypto Knights? Derek here with you again, and it is Sunday, August 5th, 2018. It's an awesome Sunday afternoon here in Bangkok, Thailand. Just got finished watching the UFC fights earlier. Pretty great if you're a fight fan. Hope you enjoyed them. But we're here to talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and we've got some big news that went down this week, and I wanted to go over what it means for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space in general, and just kind of where we're headed for the rest of the year from this point. First, as you can see on your screen, we're looking at the market and where it's at right now. We are struggling just below $7,000. We did get a big dump yesterday. I was kind of expecting that to come in the next week or so here. As I commented on in my previous video that I made talking about where Bitcoin's headed next, personally, I do believe that we are going to see lower lows and really test that sub 6K level again coming up over the next couple of weeks here, hopefully bottoming out around September. Is kind of what I'm seeing, and then from there we can turn things around. And why are we going to turn things around? Well, in my mind, and what a lot of people are talking about is the story that I want to talk about today, which is the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, known as ICE, or Intercontinental Exchange, getting into the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. That's right, the world's largest stock exchange, the parent company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, is getting into Bitcoin. They are getting into cryptocurrency, and they're not doing this just kind of haphazardly and just, let's roll the dice and see what happens. They are fully convinced in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space, and they're going in really hard on this. So the news just broke and the other day, and you can see here the CCN article, world's biggest stock exchange operator is launching a Bitcoin market. And that's right, Intercontinental Exchange, they own the New York Stock Exchange, and they are going to list a physically settled Bitcoin futures contract, and they're forming a new company whose mission is to make Bitcoin a mainstream financial asset. So this company is called Bakkt, B-A-K-K-T, and it's a pretty great name. I like it a lot. Bakkt is, it's backed by this institution, and they are going to be doing custodial services and having insurance and all of that kind of stuff for investors to really give them the kind of security and trust that a lot of investors are looking for to be able to take this first step into Bitcoin. A lot of the big institutional investors out there are scared. They read about all the hacks that take place, many exchange hacks, so many people that have had cryptocurrency lost because it was not stored in a cold storage solution or not stored in multi-sig wallets, hardware wallets, some of the other really good security solutions that are out there in the space right now. A lot of these exchanges really just leave the crypto in hot wallets, which of course is incredibly dangerous, and we've seen many exchange hacks happen over time. So one of the biggest reasons why we have not seen as much adoption as we would like in these big institutional funds is simply the matter of custodianship. And I know that we've been talking about that a lot, and we're starting to see how that is starting to get rolled out, and these custodianship products are being delivered. Now, physically settled Bitcoin futures, what's that all about? Because we have the Bitcoin futures, we've had them since December of last year. Of course, ever since the Bitcoin futures got launched, it's been a real steady downtrend in the market, and we hit a low of just under $5,800. Again, I do think we're going to test the lower low here over the next month. But I do believe we are going to find the bottom on this next run down, and this kind of news right here is setting things up for a big Q4, which is what I've been calling for, kind of where I've been making my recommendations. And in my personal opinion, I believe we will see a bottom here over the next couple of weeks to a month, and then we can turn this ship around, finally get back on track after we've exhausted all of the selling. There's just been immense selling pressure in the markets over the past, especially since we hit $8,500. We had that nice rally. We got a strong rejection at $8,500, and of course we're all the way back down under $7,000 right now. I do think we might get a little relief rally from here, possibly go back up to 7,200 or so before working our way back down lower. But come November, there is going to be the launch of this product, okay? And Bakkt is being developed in partnership with a variety of companies, including Microsoft and Starbucks, okay? So there are big players involved in this, not just the New York Stock Exchange parent company ICE, which is of course huge enough already, but they're getting other big technology and retail players involved. And Starbucks is being brought on board because with their Starbucks cards, their cash cards that they use, over 15 million customers use their Starbucks card and on a regular basis. So they're very familiar with getting people to try new and novel payment methods. So Starbucks is being brought on as a retail partner. Of course, they have locations all over the world. And the idea is that Starbucks will be able to help their kind of get them interested in using cryptocurrencies and just interacting with Bitcoin. So why is this such a big deal with the physically settled Bitcoin futures? Well, the big difference between what we have now are just cash contracts. So when people are betting on these futures, they are being settled in cash, okay? If you bet right, say you were short on Bitcoin and the contract date comes to a close and you're correct, well, your contract would be paid out in cash. That means there's not really a whole lot of effect on the supply and demand of Bitcoin, which is of course one of the most important economic components. One of the reasons why Bitcoin will continue to become more valuable over time is simply as more demand comes for the product, the supply is fixed, okay? We'll only ever have 21 million Bitcoin, and the total amount in the market is much less than that, okay? Satoshi has 1 million of them. They've never been moved. Of course, he's maybe gone, they or whoever Satoshi is. If any Bitcoin is ever moved from Satoshi's wallet address, believe me, it'll be big news and it'll be absolute pandemonium in the cryptocurrency space when that happens. About another roughly 3 to 4 million have been lost through people just throwing out their hard drives when Bitcoin was literally worth nothing. And, people could mine thousands of Bitcoin a day on a laptop. And, unfortunately, most of us weren't doing that back then. But, it could be done. So probably roughly an estimate of about 3 million to 4 million Bitcoin have been lost. And there's only just over 17 million total mined so far today. So really, we probably have about 12 million that are available, and only about 2 to 3 million of those Bitcoin are out there in liquid trading, okay, being traded. A lot of people have their Bitcoin locked up, and they got it in cold storage, and they're just waiting, maybe saving it for retirement or whatever they're going to do with it. So actually, as more and more people get involved with Bitcoin, you still have the same supply, but you have increasingly more demand. And that's one of the basic laws of economics. When you have that kind of a situation, that does cause the underlying asset to greatly increase in value. And that's something that will continue to happen, in my personal opinion, and just based off economic law, if that situation does happen, okay? Of course, we are counting on the fact that more and more and more and more people are going to want to hold Bitcoin. And, with this kind of a thing happening, I think that's being proven true, even though we're still very early on in this, okay? So with Bakkt, and it's also got partnerships or backing from Pantera Capital and Galaxy Digital. So there's also some big crypto hedge funds getting involved with this new startup as well. And yeah, I mean, this is just absolutely massive news. So they're starting with the physically settled, one-day settled Bitcoin futures. So that means rather than the old cash settled model, they're gonna swap real Bitcoin, okay? They're gonna settle these contracts in real Bitcoin. So that means in order to do that, ICE, or I guess Bakkt officially, because they're starting a new company, Bakkt will need to have a lot of physical Bitcoin on hand, which means they will take probably a significant percentage of the available supply. And then, their customers and clients will be using it. So Bakkt is going to be doing the custodianship directly, and they're going to have insurance and everything. And this is massive, okay? We've been talking about the ETF. Personally, I think this could be even bigger than the ETF, and it's very likely to happen, okay? Whereas the ETF, I'm uncertain. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I would hope next year. And actually, something like this from Bakkt can make it happen quicker, I think. But the reason why this can happen versus the ETF is they are putting in the application for the physically backed Bitcoin futures to the CFTC, the Commodity Futures and Trading Commission, not the SEC. And remember, the CFTC has already approved 2 different companies, CME and CBOE, to offer Bitcoin futures in the United States of America. And of course, those Bitcoin futures have been offered since December. Everything's been going good. There haven't been any issues. Trading volume is picking up. It's a good product. So the CTFC already has experience with this, and really this is no different, okay? In fact, the only difference from what's out there right now, and again, it is a huge difference, but the difference is they will be physically settled. So the CFTC, of course, is going to look at whether they have the proper custodianship in place, whether they have insurance and all that kind of stuff, and then they're going to make their decision. But I think come November, they are very likely to have this product and to be launched. And that's, of course, very, very exciting news. And here is a little bit more about Bakkt. And they're starting off with this physically backed Bitcoin futures, but they have a lot more plans, okay? And this is the article that was on the Bakkt blog from Kelly Loeffler, who is the CEO. And she is very, very bullish on cryptocurrency. She said, that Bitcoin could become the world's reserve currency, which is something I personally believe is very possible, or at least could kind of act as the new gold, which gold's market cap is in the $8 to $10 trillion range. I think we could see a market cap like that for Bitcoin in the future, maybe even larger, as I do believe Bitcoin has many advantages over gold and is much more easier to use, much more liquid for the digital age and for people all around the world to take part in commerce with each other. So the plan beyond that is also they're saying, we want to bring, here's the article here, the New York Stock Exchange owner, Bitcoin should be in retirement funds, credit cards, retail stores. The idea is to weave Bitcoin into 401ks, credit cards, and retail. Okay, this is the team behind Intercontinental Exchange and their partners in Microsoft and Starbucks. They're betting big on Bitcoin, and I think this is massive, okay? And this is just going to be absolutely huge. So I wanted to cover this today and let you know about it. There's a lot of articles that are out there. Starbucks drops major hint at plans to accept Bitcoin. Now, I did want to let you know real quick that the way the article was covered, and here's Motherboard talking about it. Sorry, but Starbucks will not be accepting Bitcoin. Contrary to numerous news reports, Starbucks' new cryptocurrency partnership with Microsoft and Intercontinental Exchange doesn't mean you'll be able to spend your Bitcoins at the coffee retailers' locations. So when the articles first started coming out about this, people just kind of ran with the idea that Starbucks would be accepting Bitcoin directly. They're actually partnered with this exchange, and their idea, or kind of what they're focused on, is helping people be able to transfer Bitcoin to USD, to dollars, and then to be able to spend those dollars at Starbucks retail locations. So it's not all just spending Bitcoin directly, but this is a big first step, especially when you have 2 of the most recognizable brands around the world getting involved with this in Microsoft and Starbucks. Okay, so very exciting. And yeah, we're looking at Bakkt. Here's the website, and it's pretty basic so far, but apparently they've been working on this for about a year behind closed doors and just getting it ready to bring it out to the market. I remember covering a story about this initially, probably 3 or 4 months back, just talking about how the New York Stock Exchange was planning on making some sort of move into the cryptocurrency space, but I did not know it would be this big or this soon. Okay, so this is massive news, and you may be asking yourself, oh, okay, we're back over $7,000. That's good. You may be asking yourself, why did the market move down significantly after such great news came out? Well, this is a perfect example of what I've talked about many times, and that's that the news really doesn't affect the market the way that you think it will. A lot of times the market moves in a specific way based off of the cycle that we're in the market, and then somebody will put out a news story, or they'll try to link 2 and 2 together, and say this is the reason why the price is down or this is the reason why the price is up. But a lot of times, I would say 99% of the time, unless there's a crazy black swan event, right? If, for example, the global economy crashed tomorrow, the US dollar lost all its value and everybody fled into Bitcoin, well, yeah, that would be a black swan event. And obviously that would be a news story that would directly drive the price through the roof, okay? But that's a black swan event. That means it's, just one of those things that nothing will ever be the same, okay? The world is changed from this kind of event. Most news stories are not like that, okay? 99.9% of the time, the news doesn't really affect the market the way we like it to. So the reason why the news did not move us higher, and actually we moved further down, is because we are in a bear cycle right now. So positive news, even really positive news like we just got, does not make a big difference when you're in a bear cycle. Just like negative news, if you would have gone back to December and January, you could have heard about a hack or whatever, and it doesn't matter. The prices were going through the roof, okay? Because we were in the middle of a massive bull run, okay? So same thing, different side. Right now, we're still in this bear market and we're working to get out of it. And like I said, I do think we're nearing the bottom and then hopefully moving into Q4. Just perfect timing for the launch of these physically backed futures. I think we should see a new catalyst for the bull run that we're all waiting for. So with that, let me know what you think. What do you think about Bakkt, about the New York Stock Exchange, ICE, Starbucks, Microsoft? Everybody's getting involved with Bitcoin. And, we've been talking about institutional players. This is it. It's happening right in front of our face. So what do you think about it? Do you think this is going to be a positive thing for the market? Do you think it's going to bring a lot of new capital in? Do you think that the Bitcoin dominance will continue to rise with this kind of stuff happening? And yeah, where do you think Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are going next from here? Please leave me a comment. Let me know. Share this with your friends and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. Give that notifications bell a click because you'll get notified every time we upload a new video as soon as it comes out. And with that, I will see you all again very, very soon. Peace.